Villain man never ran with crows in his hand and won't stop rocking till he clocked in a gazillion grand. Tilling the wasteland sands, raps on backs and treasure maps, stacks to the ceiling fan. He rests on his ashes, ask him after 10 miles and his galoshes smash his stashes.
Call of Duty Zombies is a fairly intricate and complex story with diverse maps, perks, and weapons. So much so that I took it upon myself to create a series in which I explain to the best of my ability every aspect of the game, not only to help you, the viewer, but also to expand my own knowledge and skill in the game. What is going on, everybody? It is Nelly B here, and welcome back to a brand new episode of Call of Duty Zombies in Depth. Today, we're taking a look at the infamous Kino Toten, released on disc with the original Black Ops on November 9th, 2010, nearly 8 years ago. This map is praised for how many things it got so right so early on in the mode's life. Although very simple by today's standards, back in 2010 this map was very well received and highly regarded for most of its innovation to the Zombies mode. Let me explain. You see, before Kino, training wasn't really a go-to tactic, mainly due to the lack of support this strategy had on previous maps, with the small exception to Shino Numa. Up until this point, camping was the only conceivable way to get to high rounds. I get it, it's possible to train on those other maps, it just wasn't commonplace at the time. Anyways, what I think made this map so much more innovative for its time was its unintentional push towards a more complex and engaging experience. Zombies was no longer a waiting game. Instead of the zombies coming to you and you feeling that at any moment you could be overpowered due to your inability to reload your weapon on time or just simply not being able to do enough damage, you now had traps, which I know were introduced as early as Verrückt, but up until now we're kinda just placed on the map for the hell of it. Kino took this to the next level and implemented them in a way that integrated them with the common training strategies used back then and even now. Not to mention one of the best wonder weapons of all time, the Thunder Gun. I get it, the Wonder Waffle and the Ray Gun were way more than enough back in World at War, but again, Zombies was becoming more complex. It was evolving and changing in front of our very own eyes into something that would, in my opinion, carry most of the interest. Adding a wonder weapon like the Thunder Gun was just the beginning of the terrific Zombies experience that is Black Ops Zombies. Like I said, Zombies was evolving. Not only were we getting into more interesting weapons and far more detailed maps, but alongside that we were getting a much larger story with each continuing map. More quotes, mysterious rooms, questionable creations, all topped with a very disturbing set of films being shown. I mean, come on, I nearly pissed myself at the sight of the giant eyeball staring at me while trying to survive an equally terrifying horde of zombies. I don't think I've ever mentioned this, but the outlandish Call of Duty Zombies maps, crazy aesthetics, and simultaneously insane and horrifying imagery didn't stop affecting my ability to actually play these maps up until I was about 14, and by that time Mob of the Dead was already out for a good year and a half, so up until that point, that map had no influence on my perspective of zombies, which, looking back on it, is pretty upsetting seeing as Mob of the Dead is easily in my top 5 best list. Anyways, Kino was originally intended to be the 4th DLC for World at War, which at the time would have been Call of Duty's first ever DLC for map pack, which explains all the Nazi symbolism seemingly emphasized in this map with no such imagery seen in any preceding map. So does this mean 5 would have been the on-disc map, or Ascension? And if so, would Transit have been DLC 4? I highly doubt that, but good thing we will never have to find out. Of course, the 4 OG perks returned, that being Jug, Quick Revive, Speed Cola, and Double Tap. Later on, Mule Kick would be added into all the Black Ops maps after the release of Moon as well. Pack-a-Punch was similar to the way that Pack-a-Punch worked in Reese, but this time it was isolated from the rest of the map. This allowed you and all your teammates to Pack-a-Punch without the worry of anything downing you. But it is limited to 30 seconds to each trip, so pack-a-punching was a bit trickier, especially if you had all 4 players who needed to pack-a-punch all at the same time. Crawlers were introduced and later became one of the most repetitive mid-round zombies to ever grace the game. If you weren't careful, these could easily kill you, not only because they were the height of an actual crawler, but if you killed these things with something other than a melee weapon, wonder weapon, or explosive weapon, on death they would explode, dealing initial damage, leaving a gas cloud behind that would disorientate the player. These things were not fun to deal with, and seeing as the best way to kill them was to save them until the end of the round and kill them separately from the zombies, I personally don't see them as a good addition. Sure, they may seem like a cool addition at the time, but now they're more of just an obstruction to the game. All in all, Kino Toten was an amazing map, and whether you realize it or not, it did some amazing things for not only the game but the community in general, by not only continuing this mysterious infant storyline, but also adding an extra depth of gameplay, and arguably won't be seen up until Shangri-La or even Mob of the Dead. So before I end the video off, I do want to mention that I was mainly talking about the original Kino in this video. I know I used only Kino remastered gameplay just simply because it was easier, but it still somewhat applies. It doesn't have the same implications as the regular Black Ops 1, just simply because the implications were already there. This different style of zombies, moving from just a person sitting in a corner shooting zombies, has already changed and adapted. This map just looks simply beautiful, and it's one of my favorite from the Zombies Chronicles remakes. Moon definitely does beat this map looks-wise, but still, Kino had an amazing upgrade from the original, and that's mainly because it's one of the oldest maps in Zombies Chronicles. I am thinking of changing the specific map in-depths into just map reviews, just simply because that seems more in line with how I do these videos. If you did enjoy, make sure to leave a like, and if you're new to the channel, feel free to subscribe and hit that notification button, just simply because it doesn't seem like subscribing is enough anymore. But anyways guys, that's gonna be it for the video. Peace.